Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good Thursday morning, thirsty Thursday, and drinking my thirsty coffee. Yes. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Welcome, all my Cowboys subscribers. Welcome, all my Commander subscribers. Welcome, few Giants subscribers, and welcome my Eagles subscribers. Yes, I take pride in the NFC East, but we welcome all here. We welcome everybody to my mama's basement, right, Mom? I love you, sweetie. I miss you. Um, but we are here because we sit exactly 1 week away. Yes, 1 week away from today, we have the Baltimore Ravens at the Kansas City Chiefs. 1 week from tomorrow, I return back to reality. I return back to the post office, to my government job, as Mark Holmes says, my government job. Yeah, my government job. 4 more years of that government job, maybe 4 to 6. I can go in 4. We'll see how I'm feeling. But my mind is saying 4. Wish me luck with that. But yes. Good morning, everybody. Brad, my buddy, Brad Harris. You know I love you, Brad. Um, do what I told you. Make the phone call. You'll be surprised. Nobody's asking anybody to be best of friends, but especially call Chris. He has something to ask you. So, I mean, he wants to help you out a little bit. So, we're all dealing with something, right, everybody? Everybody's dealing with something. And the last thing I want is my YouTube channel to bring any grief to anybody. Remember, it's only football. If you cross the line, if anybody comes into a live stream and crosses the line and calls people names, makes fun of them, then I'm not gonna put up with that. I'm not that hard up for a subscriber or a view. Oh, that reminds me, Cheese. I got to make sure you're not blocked. So let me write that down. Cheese. What's Cheese? No, it wasn't Cheese. Mouse. Wow. I couldn't have thought of that any better. Cheese, Mouse. I will check all that. But yeah, definitely. Brad's my guy. One of the biggest supporters of the channel. I'm trying to make everybody happy, and you know, I can only do what I can do. But like I was telling the Chris May, don't always assume. Chris May is one of my channel members. Don't always assume that the person you're talking to, if you meet a stranger, don't always assume that they're having a great day, because we all have our bad days. I know right now my mother-in-law, every day is a challenge, people. Every day is a challenge for my wife. It's rough. It's very, very rough, but we're getting through it, which is why I'm loving the fact that this is my first. I mean, I've been off a lot. I get 5 weeks a year, but I don't never take them, which is why I have all this leave. So I said, let me just take almost a month. And this is just like a taste of what it could be. Let me guys know. I mean, listen, I'll always be the mailman, right? I got some merch coming out, dropping in a week or two. I'm hoping to have it up by the first week of the draft, but I got some merch. Man always delivers. I'll always be the mailman, but you're getting a taste of some things, some more stuff that could happen when I'm not at my government job, right, Mark Holmes? But yeah, we sit here circling back. I know a lot of people circling back. We're going back to the beginning of this video where I said that the football season is 1 week away. A lot of question marks abound, and expect not the best of football. Now, I love college football, so tonight we got a college football game. This weekend is the first big week of college football. Curious to see. We saw Florida State go down. Sorry, prime time. I know that's your squad. You're the prime time, for everybody who don't know. Primetime Phil played for the Oregon Ducks a long time ago. He was quarterback, but one of the quarterbacks. Regardless, he grew up in Florida, was a lifetime Florida State fan. I kind of predicted the loss. So, again, college football, baby, it is here. And I won't be streaming during it, but I'm definitely a college football fan. Maybe we'll get into the bowl games. Maybe if that's what you guys want to do. But, you know, first things first, I want to talk about, we saw Jerry Jones's press conference about a private equity in the NFL teams. There's only one. The NFL teams are allowed to accept a private equity, basically selling 10% of your team, basically, is what it means. No more than 10%. Private equity firm can invest in your team, yada, yada, yada. There's only one owner in the whole NFL who did not go for it. I wonder who that could be. Let me guess. Go ahead. Name the one owner, Mr. Cheapskate, who doesn't want to do nothing for his team as far as marketing. Doesn't want to do much of anything in their .com space. Yeah, bare bones. It's like the Wish version of .coms. And yet he has his hand out for his revenue sharing portion of the teams that actually bust their butts in all these areas I just mentioned, like the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Giants, the big boys. Cincinnati Bengals, they abstained. Again, I don't care about the private the private equity firm BS. It's just the rich getting richer. But I find it funny that we got an owner who you got. Jamar Chase. Now, Jamar does have 2 years left. So, again, why have a Joe Burrow if you're not going to make the guys around him happy, right? We've already seen Cincinnati Bengals not give them, Joe Burrow an offensive line. Kind of like what we've seen with the New York Giants, right? Which is why, Joe Burrow's not going to have a long career if he keeps getting injured. Daniel Jones has gotten off to a rough start and has been ridiculed, rightly so. But, he has not had a very good offensive line in front of him. That's just a fact, people. We could try and get away from the facts, but he hasn't had a good offensive line. He's been hurt. So why invest in something like a Joe Burrow or a Donovan McNabb back in the day, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott. That's why he's circling to the Cowboys. I'm happy that they went out and you got some offensive line help. Depth. I would say our left tackle spot outside of Guyton is a bit. We have 2 practice squad spots left on the roster, everybody. And they're looking for a left tackle. And they're as a rotational guy via trade, and they're looking for a defensive tackle. We brought Denzel Jackson back, which I told you he's at international exemption. But we lost Justin Rogers. He decided to sign with a cheap organization, Cincinnati Bengals, who I've always liked as a kid. I've always liked Boomer Esiason as a football player. Let me state that. I've always liked the Bengals. I thought the uniforms were cool, but it's just a shame that the ownership is what it is. Because I don't know that they're ever going to win. But then again, look at our ownership, right? We have everything. We have every possible thing that players could want. We just don't have that extra little something to get us over the top. Winning 12 games is great. Winning 12 games is not enough. Give me a team who wins 10 games, but is hungry like a dog, going into the season, every game, going into, I was going to say Candlestick, whatever, the 49ers stadium, Levi Stadium, going into Levi, you have a chip on your shoulder for 4 quarters. And then if it goes to overtime. We don't have that nastiness anymore. We're all too nice. That's why Micah Parsons, you should love Micah. Anybody that wants to rip Micah Parsons, he has a nasty streak, and hopefully Zimmer can mold Micah into the player that I know he could be. Because right now he's a flashy player who disappears when he can get out game planned, like any player, people. Most players can get out game planned. There's not many Myles Garretts, not many Reggie Whites, not many Jerome Browns, not many Charles Haleys. They don't grow on trees. So, but just very, very excited for the upcoming season. And I want to talk about that press conference I was talking about, where Jerry, the first part of the a press conference, basically said there are no changes to the kickoff. So we still got three different distances that we're going to be starting from, depending on where the kick goes. If it goes in the end zone, it's going out to the 30. If it's kicked out of bounds, it's still going out to the 40. If it doesn't reach the landing zone and it's not returned, it's the 35. They should just make everything the 35. What Dallas is going to do is probably just boom it through the end zone. So I don't know how much it's really going to affect, but we'll see. But let's, and we have to do it. I'm going to do a few interviews. I'm going to try and keep this video on the shorter side, but that's not going to happen. You know me. Let's go here. Headlines. Jerry Jones gives update on Cowboys contract talks with Dak Prescott. CeeDee Lamb, let me change the camera. Let me change the camera. There we go. CeeDee Lamb wants to see a new Dak Prescott deal. This is per Patrick No C Walker, I believe. Patrick Walker. Remember, Patrick No C. Shout out to Patrick. CeeDee Lamb wants to see a new Dak Prescott deal. Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys want to see it as well, and so does the All-Pro quarterback himself. All three sides have now made it chandelier clear that there is no intention of seeing the triumvirate split in the near future. That's an interesting word. I never actually saw that word. Triumvirate? They said as of August 28th, there is not a new deal in place. That said, as of August 28th, there is not a new deal in place, though owner and general manager Jerry Jones did speak to negotiations on Wednesday ahead of the Cowboys' second and final training camp practice at the Star in Frisco. That hasn't changed, said Jones. We're continuing to, first of all the focus on the next 10 days to 2 weeks of the opening game. That takes priority over everything. Lamb wasn't here. Dak is here. And, whether you agree with Dak whether you're a Dak fan or not, and I know I have my Dak detractors, that's fine. That's cool. But the fact that he didn't hold out, can you appreciate that at all, maybe? You say, he has a contract. Okay, well, so does Jamar Chase, and he's threatening a holdout in the week, 10 days before a game. Look at Brandon Ayuk in San Francisco. He's doing a hold-in. He's medically cleared, and he didn't return to practice yesterday. Are they going to fine him? Stay tuned. Everybody wants to crap on Dallas. Well, it seems like the Niners have got themselves in a little bit of a pickle. Trent Williams, I got news for Brock Purdy. If Brock Purdy doesn't have Trent Williams, he may not be long for the league. And Trent Williams is 36 years old, people. Trent Williams is doing what Zach Martin did, but just wants a little bit more money. This is it for him. He's going to play another 2 years probably, and that'll be it. You know how it happens in this league. Offensive linemen can last, but 38 is a lot. So this year, next year, maybe this year, next year. I don't know that he'll play the following year, but maybe. He did sit out a lot with the Commandos, the Commanders. So they're having their issues too. But Dak Prescott at least has the stones, rightly or wrongly. You don't have to like him. He's here with the star on his helmet, leading that huddle, lead in practice. He's doing it. Again, it doesn't matter really what you think of Dak Prescott, the player. He didn't hold out. He could have forced something, and Dallas might have, by the way that Lance played, what was Dallas going to do, right? He didn't do that. I was hoping that Dak would have opened up his mouth a little more. be a little more vocal, a little more critical about things that he needs around him. But I'm very happy with how they drafted as far as they took in my opinion, they took a page out of the successful teams in recent years, like the Eagles, where they took and said, listen, we need to beef up our lines. Cooper Beebe. Cooper Beebe is going to get the starting nod week one, and that is miles away from a snapping point. You know, you're snapping the football. That's not easy. We'll see. Stay tuned for that. Hopefully that is a smooth operation if he does indeed get to start. Brock Hoffman didn't look great in his last preseason game. Actually, Dakota Shepley outplayed him. So, you know, BB just mauls people. So you want BB to be the guy. But anyway, circling back, let's get back to the Dak Prescott and Jerry Jones interview. So we really have no more to do in these significant things that we talk about every time we meet to have this a season on go mode and engage. So it'll remain like it's been. There's obviously some clarity required here. So Jones provided it. That's because with Lamb's new mega deal officially in the books, there has been speculation that September 8th will serve as a sort of a deadline to get something done with Prescott. Lest talks be frozen until next offseason. Jones says that's simply not the case, which is actually good to hear. Dak seems like he's the type of guy who could walk and talk, walk and chew gum, you know what I mean, at the same time. In other words, Cowboys will continue to negotiate with Prescott until a contract is agreed to. Remember I said a few months ago, I heard Mike Fisher talking about it. Shout out to Mike Fisher. Hopefully I can meet Mike again. You know, I don't know. I ain't going to hold my breath, but I'm going to reach out to him. See if we can hang out in Dallas and maybe get a little 5-minute interview at the Star. That would be kind of cool. Fish out. But yeah, November. I think Dallas really wants to have a contract as a tack on and not include this upcoming year. And it kind of makes sense for Dak. You know what I mean? It really does. That'll be a way for Dallas to have a 4-year deal actually be a 5-year deal. You know what I mean? So I don't know how that's going to work, but I keep hearing November. Remember, I brought it up multiple times. I don't know exactly why, other than the contract being on the next calendar year, possibly. Not really sure. If anybody knows, put it in the comments. But I keep hearing November. I've heard November. I've heard that they are on the same page. This was months ago about going into the season, possibly. Not that they wouldn't try and work on a deal, but possibly going into the season like that. So we'll see. Let's see. That means a deal could land at any moment over the next several months, though that doesn't preclude it from possibly happening at some point over the next several days, like I just stated. With the inability to franchise tag Prescott in 2025, while there may not be a ton of urgency at the moment, that changes with every passing day that takes the Cowboys closer to next March. It's a waiting game, but one with plenty of activity. So there we go. I don't know that they are going to not sign him. It doesn't look like they're going to sign him before the season, but it seems like both sides are on board with that. So again, I think, how am I going to say this without pissing everybody off? I think it's best for the team if he's here long term. That doesn't preclude them from taking a quarterback if possible. That doesn't preclude them from re-signing a Trey Lance to a multi-year deal. He's not going to get that much. Again, you have to decide what you want to do. Look at Green Bay and Jordan Love. Jordan Love sat for 3 full years at least, and look at him. His first opportunity, he was lights out. That's what Trey Lance needs. Trey Lance is younger than some of the quarterbacks that were drafted this year. Think about that. Trey Lance is younger than Bo Nix, who's the starter now for the Denver Broncos. So, interesting. I'm on board with keeping both of them. Or if you end up moving on from Trey Lance and bringing in a young stud, this is, in my opinion, Dak's last contract with the Cowboys. So I just don't want to have that. To me, you could get a young guy. It is what it is. That's why it's so important that you don't. How you structured the Dak Prescott deal and not giving him a no trade. Maybe we can agree to I've been saying, a 10-team list after the first 2 years of the contract, not before, something like that. Again, if Dak, at the end of the day, if Dak doesn't want to go, he'll tell the team, I don't want to go. So basically, all players have no trades in a roundabout way. The only stupid teams that would make a trade for a guy is the Jets. You had to know that he wanted a new contract. Everybody knew, which is why he wasn't staying in Philly, and Philly didn't want to agree that Hassan Reddick was a, $25 million a year player on paper. I don't know if he'll actually get anywhere near that. But the Jets traded for Reddick, and now he's holding out. I don't understand what some of these teams are doing. Then you wonder why you haven't won in so long. Kind of like, Dallas. Mark Holmes made a comment that he feels like Jerry Jones is taking back control. And I kind of feel that way. The last couple of weeks, it feels like Jerry said, you know what, I'm the one. Because Jerry Jones is the one that's getting lit up day in and day out. And rightly so in most cases. But he's probably like, I've had it. And it takes daddy to come in and get deals done. We'll see what happens with Dak. But let's turn our attention over to the defensive side of the ball. I want to show a couple clips, and then we'll get out of here. But Marshawn Kneeland, everybody knows how much Marshawn Kneeland was a surprise to some. But when he was on the draft board, I pointed out that he was the highest rated guy. When Dallas was on the clock in the second round, as they were approaching their pick in the second round, I'm like, he's the highest graded player left from the first round. Whether you had a first round grade or not, he was the highest player on my board. So when they took him, it was like a sneaky need. It's probably the last year of D-Law, unless he's going to go year to year type of deal. But I'm glad they got him now. I'm glad now with the injury to Sam Williams, I'm glad they got him. But let's take a look at let's take a look at him. Let me go to here. There we go.
But officially getting ready for week one. You're on the 53. So what's kind of your emotions now getting ready for your rookie season?
Just excited. Obviously, it's all just a dream until it actually happened. Just being able to be here and, make the team, be able to, now officially be here with, who's going to be here this season is fun.
Has the work ethic already started preparing for Cleveland?
Yeah.
How so?
Yeah. So we've already started, going in, dissecting them and what they do. It's still a little confusion on, some things, but, we're working through it and getting past that.
Does it feel like drinking from a fire hose still, or are you kind of settled in by now?
We settled in.
How quick did it happen for you?
Pretty fast. I feel like as soon as I got here, I just learned the plays and everything else just fell in line.
You've been praised for that work ethic for quite some time. Where did that begin for you? Was there a moment in time where it kind of just clicked for you and you were able to take the game to the next level?
Yes. So my sophomore year of high school, we were in the first round of playoffs. We played a team that had Jalen Mayfield on it, and I was cooking up all game. So if you see this, I was cooking up. But it was one play I remember he pancaked me. First time I ever got pancaked. That very next day began my journey of being in the weight room 24/7. So it never happened again. So, yeah.
You feel like you would get him back even to this day?
Oh, yeah.
What have you learned most about Mike Zimmer just as a coach and as a person, just being with him in his first year, now going through a whole training camp?
Baby.
Mm-hmm. I
in
love him as a
Zim.
coach. Great person as well outside of being a coach. You know, they say, he got that, sometimes he could be a little harsh on his guys, but we haven't got to see it yet. And hopefully me personally, I don't get to see it. I work my tail off as much as I can to be able to learn the plays and run it how he want. But obviously, still have my little flair to it, but, yeah.
What's the value talk about the value of coming in as a rookie? And obviously you get to learn under guys like Michael Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, but then new additions like Carl Lawson, Linval Joseph, Jordan Phillips. How much will that help shorten your learning curve in the NFL?
Very much so. Just having a lot of veteran guys in the room is just a lot of knowledge to be able to soak in. A lot of guys, that played at different places, played different positions, all in that same group is just like, a lot of knowledge that I get to learn from early on. And, I thought it was going to be a lot with, just D-Law here, but now we got a lot more older guys that's, I'm trying to grasp as much as I can.
Linval
Do you have any goals as a
Joseph,
rookie?
Jordan Phillips,
Defensive Rookie of the
Carl
Year.
Lawson.
Other than that, just, winning with my team.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks so much.
Yes, sir.
All right. So let me
David
go
Moore,
back to
Dallas.
there. Let me go back to there. I got one more video I want to show you guys. Just wanted to give you a little flavor of what's going on when they wrapped up their final training camp
We're going
practice
to
at the
but
start.
officially getting ready for week one. You're on the
I'm a little concerned about this next man staying on the defense. Last year's rookie standout in preseason, DeMarvion Overshone. He has a hip pointer, and it's supposedly really sore. Per Brad Sham, voice of the Dallas Cowboys in the stadium and in the media. Hopefully he's good, but let's just get a look at
How you feeling
DeMarvion.
physically? Know you missed the preseason finale with a little bit of a hip issue, but back in full pads. How you feeling for the regular season opener coming up?
No, I feel great. Just make it into the season healthy. Like that's a plus already. So we're already doing better than last year. But no, I felt great. Even going into the last week, it was really just making sure I was healthy enough for week one. No bumps or bruises to something that we could have avoided. My bad. I got sweat in my eye. But I feel good running around today. I'm just excited to be playing
Don't
football.
cry.
How excited being that now you're going into the regular
got some
season
good
opener,
teeth,
something
man. I
you
need
couldn't
these
do last
teeth.
season because of what happened with the knee?
Oh man, like I said last time around this time of year, it's just a blessing to be able to strap on my cleats again. It's a lot of guys just called it they career yesterday and the day before that. So just being able to do it, I'm already excited about playing football in general. But doing it with this organization, doing it with my brothers that seen the process of me rehabbing and doing everything I could to get back to, playing in the regular season game. So, all the emotions, all the excitement is there. I'm just ready to strap it up for real.
With the system in place now, what was it like learning a whole new system for you with Zimmer and where are you at in terms of mentally doing it?
Defense is going to be defense. You're going to change
That's the one issue I'm a little concerned about is you saw under Mike Nolan. Now, I'm not trying to Mike Nolan had some success in this league. So I'm interested to see how fast it's. In a way, it's good that they brought in some veterans, but they just need to make sure that they're on the same page, especially early in the season during the roughs, because Zimmer will call some exotic stuff, where you have to be on your P's and Q's mentally. I'm hoping they can do that. I'm hoping that the transition doesn't take as long as you might think. I think it's good that Overshone is really never, not good that you have an ACL, but he didn't play and learn the whole system. He did under Quinn, but once he got hurt, he was more in rehab mode. Whereas here, it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
just the name of calls and stuff, but schematically, each coach gonna have their thing. And I was blessed to play with 3 defensive coordinators in college. So, learning a lot from all 3 of them, and Zimmer, basically having some of the same stuff that I played in my last years of college, I was able to translate that well. So, really mentally, You know, it was really just doing it physically, you know, getting out on the field and just redoing it. So I feel great about it.
What coach's defense from college is similar to Zimmer's? Which coach?
PK this last year, and a little bit of Chris Ash, my sophomore leading up to junior year. So PK right now, you know, a defense that I thrived in my later years in college. So basically, you know, getting ready to do some of that same stuff again.
What did you think of this setting tonight and everybody yelling your name and stuff, but it's here at home instead of out in California?
Oh, it feels good to be home. You know, that the atmosphere, the fans, you know, you love to see them, you know, and, you know, seeing just how we grinded, you know, throughout all off season, you know, to put on the show for everybody that showed out today. So, you know, we definitely feel the energy. Everybody that came out, we want to thank you. You know, we appreciate it, and you know, your love and support goes a long way.
You mentioned learning a new defense from like a schematic standpoint, but what have you learned about Mike Zimmer just as a person and as a coach, and kind of how to thrive in his system, just from a personal standpoint?
Basically, you just do what he says, and you know you're gonna be all right. Like, he breaks it down. It's simple. You know, he corrects you on stuff that you already know. So it's really easy to thrive in his defense with the type of coach he is, because he likes everything done a certain way. It's no gray area. It's a black and white area, and you do what he says, then you're gonna be perfect. Thank y'all.
Appreciate you.
Okay, he didn't mention
last week.
He didn't mention the. He did not mention the. Let me go back to this camera. He didn't mention the hip pointer, so that's good. I mean, I don't know that he's not gonna announce it that he's got a hip pointer. Hip pointers can be very painful, so you know, that's good. We'll see. I mean, they have plenty of time. He ain't gonna miss time. I said he might miss. He may miss some time. That was my original thought. Maybe miss the first game. I don't think so. Just I think he's going to be there regardless. That will allow Leofau to come in sub packages. Starters are going to be Damone, Eric Kendricks, and Overshone with Leofau, with Buddy Johnson. I mean, we are going to be rolling these, and I'm happy for Buddy Johnson. Real happy. Local kid playing with his hometown team. He's a beast, a big dude, fast, special teams. Again, I'm happy for the kid. But, all right, everybody, I don't want to take too long. I'm almost at 35 minutes, so we're going to cut it off here. Just remember, I'll have more videos up today, but I have a premiere at 1 o'clock. Yes, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern. That's high noon. I believe it's high noon in Tennessee. Hey, Pizzle, I predict the New York Giants schedule. Stay tuned, everybody. All right. And just remember one thing before I forget. We them boys. And hey, we're coming, baby. We're coming. How about them Cowboys? Late.